Thijs moet naar voren.
Ja. Thijs. Thijs. We hebben een plekje voor jou.
Ik dacht dat we een avond hebben, Thijs.
Daar kan je niks tegen inbrengen als ik zeg we hebben een plekje voor jou gereserveerd. Dat is kak, hè? Ik laat je met rust. Ja, je mag ook daar zitten als je dat fijn hebt. Dan weet ik je ook te vinden. Dan weet ik je ook te vinden.
Ik kon niet. Ken je Primo? Ken je Primo? Die bij ons hoor.
Nou, ik denk dat we gaan beginnen. Zullen we de deuren dicht doen? Of hoe, ja? Oké. Ja. Is start on the start. Ja? Oké. Ja. Welcome everybody. I'm so happy that we have drinks afterwards. I see you guys are with so many and there's so much to discuss about. Yes. Welcome to the Innovation Cafe, the first one of 2026. And we are with so many people. Thank you for being here. And today we have a very interesting topic, the future of farming. Who is farming whom? We will find out within an hour probably. We will have like a double conversation with Floris and with Paul. But first of all, I will introduce myself. I am Charlotte Gruen, social designer based in Eindhoven. And I mainly work with social issues. For example, right now I'm working for the University of Amsterdam and the Academic Health Center of Amsterdam. And we are redefining healthy supermarkets, but then also from an economic perspective. So I know a little bit about food and not so much about farming, but we will learn much more about it today. And also moderating is something I really love because this is my way of learning. It feels like a Discovery Channel, but then interactive. I can ask questions, finding out what lays beneath. So you are also allowed to ask questions afterwards. So please, let's learn together. Give a big applause for our speakers, Floris and Paul. But first, maybe we want to know a little bit about the audience, so you can drink a little bit and get used about this atmosphere. The audience, I have some questions for you. Who is here for the first time at the Innovation Cafe? Wow, a lot of people. Welcome, welcome. And how did you find us? Because we are also very curious.
Through Anemone.
That's the best. Anemone bring more new people. Anybody else? How did you came here? How did you find us? Friends? Email? Meetup? Someone? Yeah? Okay. Okay. Thank you for being here. I also have a few questions for you. First of all, who is a designer in the audience? Okay. Policymakers? Ooh, one with the red sweater, so now we know for sure. Engineers? Tutors? Lecturers? People who are working at the university? Researchers? Well, a little bit. Okay, okay, thank you. Okay, I have another question. Data, AI, and food production makes me feel mostly excited, curious, concerned, or confused. So, data, AI, and food production makes me feel excited. Someone? Okay, okay. Curious. That's good. Concerned. Yeah. Or confused. That's me. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Sorry? Yeah. Who do you think is mostly in control of the food system? farmers, technology and data companies, politici and regulation, consumers, or I'm not sure. Farmers, who think is most in control? Farmers, someone? Okay. Technology and data? Okay. Policy? Maybe? Yeah. Paul, what did you choose?
Data.
Data. Okay. Consumers? I also think so. Industry. Yeah. That was the one I think. Who thinks industry? Okay, that's clear. Thank you. Okay. Okay, now the last question and then we will start with a very nice movie. In the future, food will be mainly grown by humans, machine and AI, a close collaboration, or I don't know yet. Humans. Machines and AI. Okay. Close collaboration. The most majority, or don't know yet. That's very honest as well. Okay. Well, I think we are very curious about what you're doing. But first of all, I will do a small introduction. Floris, you're a designer, but also an inventor.
Yes.
Yes. I find, and you also started circular farming.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit? Not spoiling too much, but
Yes.
tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Floris Schoonderbeek, live and work in Arnhem. And I'm a product designer or inventor and everything in between. And 3 years ago I started the project started investigating for myself how our food system works. That was at the top of the protesting from farmers in The Hague. And I grew up in the polder, and I was always fascinated by farmers and.
Robert, wil je het filmpje nog heel even uitzetten? Sorry. Ja.
So I thought, okay, what do we actually eat, and where does it come from, and what is the impact on our environment? And from there I started learning about how much land we actually use for farming, and what of that part is actually landing on our plates.
And how did you came from a designer, product designer, because that's your background, not really background, but educational background, to farming?
Yeah, in my studio, I always start investigating something I think is interesting at that point. So it's not like a project from a company. And from there I start to learn from something, and I search for what's really going on there, and is there something I can add, or is there something, can I help it somehow? And from there I make solutions on small scale or big scale, and small scale is a product and big scale is a system change.
But why farming?
Yeah, because if you look at food, farming is very relevant, of course, and I think it's becoming more and more clear that something is going wrong in farming.
I just thought maybe your father is a farmer or
No,
something.
No, I'm not a farmer, by the way.
Yeah. But you graduated with a small farm, or what was it?
No, I graduated under the title Stadsboer, which it's urban farmer, and that was not because I was farming carrots in the city, but I was really interested in the balance, the conflict between city and countryside, yeah. And how it cultural influence each other. How they can both influence each other in a positive way. Okay. So that was my interpretation of Stadsboer. Yeah.
Wow. So more, you think more about the human scale, the culture behind it, and because tonight we are more talking about man versus machine. So you're more like the man kind of perspective.
Yeah, and yeah, maybe, and I think many transitions are. We know what we have to do technically. But I think many transitions are finally a social transition. Do we really want to make the step political and as consumer? And
okay, let's go to the machine and AI and data. Paul, you're working at Wageningen Research, huh? And
yes.
You're robots, data, and AI. Robots, data, AI, and of course agriculture. Not really not really connected easily for me,
No, yeah, so
Can you
yeah,
explain how?
yeah, so the same way, I'm Paul van Zoggel, and actually I had a background in media, IT, and computer games. That's how I graduated in the past. On the Art Academy also in Utrecht, and then we moved abroad. I moved to Romania together with my now wife, but then girlfriend. And then we came back with our kids, and our kids didn't like the food in the Netherlands because they had great food in Romania, and now it was, what's the taste? So I started to wonder if I can combine this, my IT background and curiosity to food. Can it be something together? And then you join a hackathon with the guy in the red sweater there, almost 15 years ago. And from one thing comes the other, and in the end you end up asked in Wageningen, do you want to come to us at Wageningen Research, what we did already in the Netherlands with strip cropping and Frietje Precies at the Dutch Design Week.
Yeah.
That was, that's where I started 10 years ago with regenerative farming. And the main thing is, if we want to create sustainable food, in the end we need actually more variation in the field, but then we also need more hands to take care of it. And there comes a problem. The current machines we have is the industry, big, cheap, fast.
Mm-hmm.
And we need new machines, and these machines become smarter and smarter.
Wow. Okay. Does everybody knows what is regenerative agriculture? Is there someone who doesn't know it? Because otherwise I will explain it. Yeah, okay. Okay. I will explain it, yeah. For me, but you know the official way, but I always use a metaphor for it. If you borrow something from your neighbor, for example, a ladder, you use it, but you bring it back nice and clean because you bought it. You even clean it a little bit extra because you used it. And for me, that's a symbol of regenerative. So you borrow the land, the nature from Earth, and you give it back better, or at least in the same quality. Is that correct? Not official, the scientific way of saying it?
I see a thumbs up from Stan, so...
Okay. Thanks, Stan.
The best description, they should put it in ChatGPT, I think, as an answer.
Well, I'm not so into ChatGPT.
But maybe...
But thanks.
Yeah,
I find it out myself.
That's maybe a bit conceptual explanation, but what I learned is that like in I'm not sure how to call it, the normal way of farming, we add a lot of traditional farming. Mm-hmm. We add a lot of growing mist and materials to let things grow, and at the end of the season we take kind of everything away. And regenerative is that you start building a quality in your soil, and that you don't have to add stuff from outside, but all the power which is needed to grow the food can come from the soil. So you have to take, you keep it quiet in the soil, and the things can grow there, and the power comes from the sun and the soil.
Yeah, thanks. And you two are also part of the Circlefarming. You work together in it, huh? Shall we take a look at your movie? Because you brought a movie.
Yes.
Is it with sound?
No, it's more background actually.
Okay,
it's,
then you can do the background voice.
Yeah. That is more an introduction to the project. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us what you see?
Yes, it's the project we are now bringing to market actually is Circlefarming. Circlefarming is a way of regenerative farming. We discovered that regenerative farming is, we think, a way to go. Like it's taking care of the soil, it's taking care of biodiversity. It's better for the water system. I think it's better for people working in the field. So we think it's healthy for many things, but it's very much about precision farming, because regenerative farming is also, Paul knows better, but about mixing crops, because mixing crops can help each other with different biodiversity, but it's very precise. So it's mostly done by hands now, or you need robots which can take over, and that's still taking quite a while, and maybe not the best way. So I was searching for a way how we can help regenerative farmers or start up new farms to start farming a regenerative way. So that's why we made the arm, because we believe in people existing tools and new technology in that mix, we think regenerative farming and also the transition to it is possible. And that's why we designed the arm, which has a very brutal, so to say, center point, which is very strict. And from there, the arm turns, and it's like a drawing tool. It's very precise. You can use existing tools like weeding. You can do very precise underneath the arm. And also new technology needs a very specific center point to know where it is. And when you look at robotics at the moment in the fields where they do, for example, laser weeding, I think a lot of investments and a lot of instability is because it's a self-moving robot, and he has to look all the time. What do I see, and what do I have to take out? And we take all these robotic self-driving systems away because we have a very specific center point, and we know always exactly where we are. And we can also use a laser because we also think laser can make sense. Yeah. But we have this kind of low-tech, high-tech combination on the arm, and I think that's what we need for regenerative farming, and also people can hang underneath the arm. So that's what we tested the last 2 years.
And why is it a circle?
Yeah, the circle was not a goal in itself, but I also visited another farm, and they had a very organic beds, so to say, for the vegetables. And I asked them, why do we have these organic beds? And they said, yeah, well, we decided to work in the field, and so we better can make it a nice environment. And it looks nice, and when you walk in a curve, it does something with your mind, so to say. And I thought that's very interesting from a point of view from the human side. And but it's also a result from this arm that swipes around. And the next question is mostly, what about the corners? You lose the space, but actually we win the space because we can work so exact and precise in the circle, and we don't have tracks there anymore for driving. Because we have a really small track at the end of the arm. So we can do like 100% in a circle, which you normally do in a square. So we win the edges for nature, maybe later for living or recreation. Because we have, over there we made a carpet of a possible new landscape. And actually I started the project because of what happens in between the circles, because that's where we can start changing the landscape as well, and where the countryside and the city can come together in a new way.
That's also something that you can really take a look at it afterwards, the work over there. You've created it together. Okay, interesting. And it's also at the Vaderland in Nederwette. You were also making a Circlefarming, right?
Last season we worked at 3 farms.
Wow. Paul, do you have anything to add? Because you're also part of the Circlefarming.
Yeah, so about 2 years ago, I think we met also at the Dutch Design Week. And as back then I was still busy with strip cropping, so straight lines, but many variety next to each other. And what Floris already said, it's very difficult with machines to do exactly at the right place, the right thing at the right moment. And so I thought, okay, maybe it's a very interesting playground to figure out, like, okay, this is extremely precise, this arm, and we can try all kinds of technologies that are in other domains, like lasers and other equipment, and we can try it on this arm, and also together with students, to see, like, okay, what is possible with this arm to go around. So it's for us also from Wageningen University, and I also pitched it here in Eindhoven University and Fontis. Oh, it's actually great, because then in 6 weeks' time they can really do something and try something with this arm and be really in the field somewhere around Eindhoven or Wageningen. So that's why I stayed, and we further develop it and to see what's the potential of it mainly in social farming at the moment, because we see we have herenboeren, we have lenteland. And what I hear from a lot of people that are involved, it's great in the beginning to be on Saturday on your knees in the field, but after half a year and in the rain, then you realize, I'm here, the other people are at home at the TV, I don't know if I still want to do that. And this is something thinking, okay, so this is not scalable. So we need new technologies that still stay with the idea of regenerative and sustainable farming, moestuin, but then a bit bigger, because 1 million people every day to feed 3 times, you need quite some circles.
Yeah. And we also talked a little bit about farming European-wise, and you told me that the food already comes from the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, and the food production is already oriented.
So what we have here in most things, what we have here in the supermarket, and what we sell also, it's in Northwest Europe. So if you make a circle from here 300 kilometers around, basically that's one food system.
Okay.
But there are 50 million people living, wanting to eat 3 times a day, 150 million meals a day. So you still need a lot of classic production because people want it fast and cheap. Great. I mean, we need to eat. We don't want to be hungry. But you see a growing group of people that wonder, okay, where is the real quality food? What is in it? Where did it come from?
Yeah.
A tomato is not just a tomato. If you see it looks great in the supermarket, we all know that oranges in the supermarket, there's not so much in it. And if you take it from a sustainable farm somewhere in Spain or in Greece, there's much more vitamins in it. So this awareness is growing, and this will only become more. So that's also the future of circle farming.
Wow. Okay, and you also brought an image. Robert, can you show us the image? Yes. What do we see here?
Yes, so as in Wageningen, I work a lot with the researchers there. And the main focus is there, how do we get the machines? We always use tools in farming. We call it now precision agriculture and precision machinery. And the main thing is, if you're in the tractor, you have a lot of screens, and on the computer you have to do a lot of actions to make these machines work. So it's a lot of work to get these machines to work on the field. So in the end, what we believe is that, like we talk now to ChatGPT or to the software, we will also talk to machines, and the machines will talk to us. I mean, the software is already there. It's only a matter of time that they will be smart enough that they say, I think I have to go outside and I have to go to the field or to get some potatoes. And what you see now with the humanoids development from Tesla and all this, we're very curious what will bring that in one side. So I asked ChatGPT, can you create a picture of this future when I just said about this text? And it came up with this. And then I realized it's actually great. And then I asked it, like, who is the migrant in this picture?
Who is the migrant?
In these pictures, I asked ChatGPT.
Anyone?
Who thinks what the answer was of ChatGPT?
Take the woman.
She's German, the German people who came to the Netherlands to do the work on the field.
You're an expert. It's not fair. Yeah.
So
right?
ChatGPT said, I don't see any
Thanks,
migrants. I don't know what you're talking
migrants.
about. And it became a whole philosophical story what migrants are and that I'm crazy that I see a migrant. And if you look at it, I would say there are 3. What Marius just said, the woman from Germany came in the 15th century in the Netherlands, is a migrant. Maybe the robot is Chinese, came from there. But most importantly, the 3rd one, the windmill, also existed already 1,000 years before BC in current Iran, Persia. And we also imported it and improved it for our own situation. So this AI is not so smart yet to see what we can see. But it's a good illustration of what we actually want to achieve. There is technology in the world, like the windmill from abroad. Like, it's a great idea, but how can we use it in the Netherlands? Designing like Floris, also taking something, pivot farms that already exist somewhere. How can we make it better and bring it further? And at the same time, these machines, there's also a lot of startups in the Netherlands, but also here in Brabant, robot companies that start making machines. That's great. But the Chinese companies, they are way faster, more efficient, have more funding. So these machines are also coming. And the question also from our government, if we are so depending on these machines with all this software, and we need to harvest food, and somebody abroad says, I pressed the button today, you can't go harvest. So there's a big concern, great, all these technologies, but we become very dependent. And all the farmers that I know, I talked the last 10 years to many farmers, they say, I become dependent on more and more people outside of my farm. And in the past I only had my tools, and if it didn't work, I fixed it. And this is where we also meet, is like, okay, I'm from the side of, can we go completely autonomous with arms and machines that do all the work for us? We have to explore it, because they will come anyway. And the Eindhoven region, I believe, has a lot of potential to have a big influence in the Netherlands. And Wageningen is only 80 kilometers away. But 2 times a week you can drive with me, because I live in Nune. So you can always find this combination. So in this very small triangle between Delft, Eindhoven and Wageningen, it should be possible that it happens, that we also create great machines. And if it's not here, where will that happen in the world? And that's the challenge we see.
I'm also curious, Floris, do you also agree with the concerns? How do you see that from your perspective?
Well, yeah, we see a big role for the new technology, and like in machines like laser robots, for example, or the laser weeding. But we also search for. We also have working on a dashboard where we can make images of the field with just maybe with your smartphone, which so you can make like digital twins of the farm. So. Yeah. Because we think circle farmers will be maybe relatively small farmers, but they will be connected with each other, and they can help each other looking into the fields. But what we also find out is that regenerative farming and the new technology is like not always a good match. Like the community which is now farming in that way is, yeah, they work like that because they want to feel connected and be connected with the food, the soil, and the community. And they have the feeling that this new technology like conflicts with their, so to say, with their ID, yeah.
Working and living.
Yeah, and we think this new technology can help us to be connected with the food and the soil and everything. But that's also a kind of social challenge to how can we introduce these new technologies in the regenerative community.
We had a small talk before, and you said like there should be like many ways of farming still existing in the future. Can you explain that a little bit? What did you mean by that?
Well, yeah, since I started researching the food and farming, you see there should be, and it's a very wide development we need, I think, and I think there will be different sizes of farms, and there will be communities close to cities who want to really know where their food comes from and help growing it. But there will also be like some harvest we need from further away, because maybe the soil is better, like from Ukraine, for example. So yeah, I think there will be many types of farming technically, but also in which community and also the relation between where it grows and who eats it actually, like the corticate or the long distance, or so it will be a variety, I think, at least in the transition, to see what works best. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I'm curious, are there questions from the audience? Yes. Welcome to you. Yes.
Hi. So I'm curious about that. Mr. Paul, in the first point you said that the food was better in Romania. In the end, did you get this mission in the Netherlands? Did you make a better tasty food in the Netherlands? Thank you.
Did you succeed your challenge while you started?
Well, the quality food can be...
Is the food becoming better now in the Netherlands?
Yeah. No, from the supermarket, not yet, because that's mass-produced and as fast as possible, as cheap as possible, because there's a competition. But in the Lenteland and the Herenboeren and Vaderlands, and the biological farms they are producing it, so it is available. Although it's not scalable, what I mentioned is it's very difficult. And that's where also I came from. 10 years ago, we started strip cropping and frietje precies. So it was 5 hectares of potatoes, beans, parsnip. And the size was perfect to start with regenerative farming. So the farmer could do the work, but it was only 5 hectares. So who's going to do something with this? It's enough for a whole village to feed, 5 hectares for a time. But the volume was like this. It was too small for a factory to do something with it, because these factories are huge, they want to have a lot, and it was very expensive to use them. But it was also too much for manual work. So to cut things by hand, to do everything by hand, is also impossible. So the conclusion was, and still is, and that's why we're still in this problem, new ways of farming, yes, it looks great and we can make the designs, but to actually get it to the kitchen or to do something with it that you can save it, we don't have these kind of facilities in Northwest Europe to pack them or to bring them together and to have a lot of clients. And there is a big challenge in the whole supply chain.
Yeah, so there is more challenges. It's a bigger problem than just growing.
And what about environment? My name is Vanya. And what about environmental issues like pollution of the soil, the water, and also extreme drought, for example? What are the solutions in terms of technology and yeah?
Shall I answer
Who
that?
wants?
You want? So in the Netherlands, if we talk about the Netherlands, there's enough rain. I mean, we have enough water coming in. We decided that we want to get rid of it as fast as possible. So in the summer, we're without water. So there are various initiatives to see, can we hold this water longer? Can we store it under the ground? So there is enough water. It's about organizing it together, for example, with Rijkswaterstaat, that they start to hold water in the country. And on we also see that as close loop between dairy, so cows and arable land, this loop can be closed like it was in the past. In the past, cows were just walking around. And then regenerative farming is really possible. But we need cows. We need the manure, that the soil in the Netherlands stays healthy. So it is possible, but everything doing different than now for scaling it up, it's extra cost. And at the moment, the supermarket says we don't pay for it, the producers don't pay for it, and in the end, it's the system is broken because nobody pays for the extra effort. And there is the main challenge. The farmers want tomorrow to do everything as good as possible in a regenerative way, but they can't send the bill anywhere. So there is also a big challenge.
We're working on that with the...
Good, you have the solution.
Maybe
not the solution, we are working on it.
Hi, yes, Talion is my name. I'm curious about if, obviously, total cost of ownership is something that's very important in the farming industry. So if I understand with this circular concept, the challenge will be that every circle has to have its own machinery. Do I understand that correctly?
Well, we're working on it will hop around. So we think about 3 circles with 1 arm. And this year we're going to test the arm of 20 meters, so a circle of 40 meters, and then it's getting close to an interesting match in investment, materials, and production. But yes, it's definitely an issue or something we are searching for. Like, yeah, but it really depends also, because we are also this year we are working on an automatic arm, so it will run automatic. The tool will run automatic, and we can do like a weeding program without being there, which is really nice. But really nice, depends on what you think is really nice, of course. But yeah, it's the cost of investment of the machine and what comes off is a good balance. But the question is mostly about the efficiency of the system. And I think when we talk about efficiency, inefficiency is also what's the goal of efficiency. Yeah? So it's all about values and everything. So since we have the new politicians since today with a new program, that might change a lot for farmers and maybe also for the relevance of our project.
We have another question.
Hi, my name is Iris, and I would know, where do you see this project in 10 years, ideally, and what needs to happen to get there?
Good question. Yeah, we think it can play a role in the agricultural for the coming years. So we see it on the different continents with different relevance probably. We also think that everything we develop on our circle arm is also possible on like a straight arm, so to say, which Paul was talking about. So I can also imagine that there will be gentries running through the field like this, more autonomous. But we start with circle farming, and so yeah, the coming 10 years we will grow to a community of farmers, which I think are mostly around cities, for the coming 5 years, so to say. And this year is for us really a development year. So this year we try to make it small but very precise. So this year we are going to make one big farm with 3 or 4 circles in Wageningen. So we can do all the development over there. And then the next year we are really this year we start searching for farmers, and we will keep like open days. And next year we think about 50 farms in the Netherlands.
Hey, and Paul, what do you think he needs for that to get there?
The combination of so many things come together here with circle farming, because we also have climate change, and we say every year we get rid of the water, because the main reason is that farmers need to get on the field with their heavy machines to start production. And we see with the water boards in the Netherlands, the areas around rivers, but it's all around the world basically, they want to keep them more wet, and they are more wet because of also climate change. So if we work with pivot farms around river streams, where the machines can't come anymore, and just letting it be is also not a solution, because it will just cost money to maintain it. We're not a Serengeti here that you can just let it go. Everything costs money in the Netherlands to keep it the way it is. So there is a big chance for in the next 10 years to really get into the plans of region redevelopment, and where new neighborhoods are built next to rivers, where will be food production with these 20-meter arms. So the next level of community farming is the first step. And then the straight lines, as Floris said, will be also the main production farms. And on the technology side, if it's the same curiosity and the same technology, it doesn't matter if it goes straight or it's a pivot in one, this both can be developed. And that's also one of the main goals of Wageningen and Eindhoven to contribute to that.
Okay.
Yes. My name is Marius Mona. I work at the Advanced University of Applied Sciences, also working with the straight lines robots. But I was intrigued by your comment, and I know that you're working on that, so I ask you to elaborate that. You were talking about the circle farm robot can jump to different positions, so you can reuse one robot in different circles. Yep. Can you tell us a bit more about that, how that works? Because I really think that there are many positive sides about the circle farming concept, but one downside is that you need many of those things. It has a large footprint if you look at the embodied energy and the materials that you need for that. So if you can reuse it in different circles, then it becomes a better proposition. You can reuse the arm in different circles. So you don't need an arm in every circle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, we are working on the center pole is like very important, the position. So we are working on a smart lock system to disconnect the center pole halfway, and then we are adding an electric wheel, and then we can drive to the other field, and that's how we want to hop around. And but we are working with students from Wageningen. Okay, what size do we need? Do we need one arm, and it should be bigger, because for example, we went from 10 to 15 meters arm, which was a doubling of the bed surface, which is interesting. So should the circle become bigger, or should we make a smart hop system, so to say? And that's also about what do you think is important in that mindset? Is it about production? Is it about the spaces in between? Then we prefer smaller circles with more in between space. But then you have to hop around, or you need more machines. and on the other side, because we think we will mostly be close to the cities. That's also a bit of a human size, because people, you might know these huge circles in the United States, but they are all mono. And but anyway, I feel disconnected with these installations, and so we have to find all the buttons, all the knoppen, so to say, which we can influence and see what do we think is most important. Is it like a small community garden, or is it a production garden? And we are now investigating all of them actually and testing. Okay. But yeah, that's a big question. Also, if we want to change existing farmers into circle farmers, they already have all the equipment. That's like a tough way. But if you start, for example, a new community farmer, say next week, and you don't have to invest in tractors, for example, and you invest in this machine, then it's kind of low cost installation.
Okay.
And electric.
We have another question.
Yeah, my name is Inkital. I'd like to hear some numbers, like comparing circle farming with maybe now traditional or square farming, like maybe an economic side or some productivity, whatever. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Yeah, can you say some numbers, like comparing the circle farming with the traditional or square farming, like in the productivity level or efficiency level, or the result as a result, like the output, productivity, something.
Yeah, we
some simple comparisons.
Now, let's see. As I said, with about the crop production, we do like 100% in a circle instead of the square. Last year we used 3 installations, and we saw that it's almost on the same level in time consuming for the farmers. So we're not there yet, like into man hours, but we will get there and above, I think, this year with new and better tools. And yet, for the rest, the numbers. This is the year of the numbers. So we are in the business case, it's important, but also in knowing really how many hours of FTEs go into the crops, and what's the quality of the people working on the crops. Is it like a skilled farmer, or is it a volunteer? But with our tool, he can do all the work.
So next year you come back and you have all the numbers.
Yeah, maybe you should write some numbers down you want to know, so we can.
We have another question.
Hello, thank you. My name is Özge. My question is: you are gonna pursue more farmers, and you also said that this is not necessarily more profitable. How do you convince them to join? Also, as a related question, you also, Paul, you said this is a supply chain issue. Which part of the supply chain we should motivate more to make this more preferable? Yeah, but yeah, according to you guys.
Yeah.
There are many business-wise questions, right?
Yeah, the whole supply chain, so to say, because the question about the Romanian good food, I mean, I think it is available here, but for who is it available, and for what price? And so yeah, I think the whole chain has to change. But, yeah.
Maybe I can reflect on that. So I came from 10 years ago. I started in the conventional farming, so for the big production and the big fields. And we started with strip cropping then, with 12-meter wide strips, and not using no chemicals for pest management. And we calculated back then, and also with the Haas Green Academy students and some experts, we calculated strip cropping is in cost price 3 times more expensive. So, but if currently a potatoes cost to produce 30 cents a kilo, in strip cropping this would be 90 cents a kilo. But still, the French fries in the supermarket or further are still for €3. So somewhere in the chain of this €3 a kilo in the supermarket, to jump from 30 cents to 90 cents, in my opinion, should be possible. And to turn this strip cropping biological, then the biological farmers get a lot of money from the EU to be able to do biological farming. We're not in that. So basically we're competing with the biological farmers. But it's all about what is the relationship you have as a family with that farm. If I go to a farm and I buy milk, I don't think about is it milk €2 or €3. I know this money is well spent because the farmer gets my straight money here. In the supermarket, I think 3 times what I will spend on a liter of milk because I know the profit is anyway going to the shareholders. So it's about your relationship with the community farm, knowing where it's come from, and then, at least in our society, and especially people in the city, and we're still in high tech, it's good jobs. We don't worry so much about how much it costs, as long as we know that it's well spent. And then we can also show what is possible with circular farming and strip cropping in the Netherlands. And then when it scales, the prices will also go lower. Maybe the machines become a bit cheaper, even more autonomous. And but we have to be able to show it on a scale that's manageable by farmers and by a local community.
I would like to add something to that, and that's more a bit holistic. Because as a designer, Floris, as you started with circular farming. You just want to try something. You see something, you see an opportunity, and you're just starting doing it. And by being there and being part of the process and the system, that will take a long, long, long time. And also a cultural change about how we connect to food and what we want to pay for it. So that's also a bit of the struggle as designer. Maybe this is my pain as well, sorry Floris. But that sometimes you just try something to learn from it and to have like a future vision to go there, and you just start doing it. So it's not about the money, you just believe in it and you just go for it. And you came this far. Because there were so many questions about poverty, and which is also very important, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a struggle. Yeah,
Words in your mouth, sorry.
No, I think as a designer, you think about the possibilities, and sometimes you're a bit ahead of what's possible in the system. And I think, as designers, and with all of us, actually have the responsibility to go for it if you think it can be relevant. And I was also since in 2009 I started to be active in the charging stations for electric cars, and the next 6 years we didn't know where the business case was, and sometimes they still don't know. But that's it has to be there, and it has to happen. And on the way we search also for the business case. And for example, if you talk about the machine cost, we are not planning to sell the machines. We are planning to lease the machines, and you get an abonnement on the tools. So as a farmer, you want to have your own tools, but the more complex high-tech tools you don't want to own, but you want to use them. So we are making a library of tools. So yeah, that makes it complex, but also interesting that it's not about designing a nice machine. It's a whole.
It's a whole system.
Whole system, yeah.
You have another question?
Yes, my name is Janne Brok. I really like these ideas. But indeed, like you were also saying, it seems that indeed talking about bigger circles and efficiency is like trying to plug this part of the system into the old system, right? So in that sense, I would say that in order to really turn over the full system, which also includes the big parties and the supermarkets and whatnot, you could also think, and there are a lot of designers here in the room today, about what happens if you make it smaller and use that as a kind of method to see where you would then plug it into a system, right? Because I fear that if you want to fit it into the old system, yeah, then that's going to be really hard.
Done with that, Janne. I think we should connect you together after the drink.
I think that already happened then.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Yeah. So we are working on the sandwich, so to say. So small and bottom-up, independently small farms, where we can control the whole system, including the sales of the crops or the community that works on it. And on the other side, yeah, if you look at the questions we get tonight, it's mostly related to the current system. So yeah, we have to somehow, we have to deal with it as well. And we don't want to wait. So we want to deal with the current system because that's where we are now. And,
but it's also normal that people ask questions about the normal system because that's what we know.
Yeah, exactly.
You already have a vision in your head where you're going.
And we have to bridge it.
Yeah. So.
And if you work as a hobby on community farms, you know nature is not nice. You know, it will just start to grow while you blink, and there's new weed, and there's this, and that goes wrong, that goes wrong. So one of the parts we didn't mention yet is this arm is always around, and it will also have sensors and things to see, okay, is there something going wrong? Are there animals eating from it, or is there a disease coming up? And take action. So that's also a big part. So the main future is the voluntary work on community farms. That's the main first step, and to scale that part faster, and not to have all the time volunteers around or doing the weeding work all the time in the weekends. And then it's not about price, as I mentioned. It's about, I want to have all the time, when it's in the season, I want to say to an app, we are with 5 at home, we live this far from this farm, and I want to know when there is something available. And the arm will tell me if there is cucumbers growing there now, or there is beans to be picked up, and I can book my half an hour. Okay, I want to come on Saturday for half an hour laying on the arm. And then you can lay on it, and it will go exactly where you can pick it out, and you go home again. So all these things, it's a combination of convenience, that's still what we want, but as sustainable as possible, and the supply chain as short as possible.
Wow, I'm in. We have another question.
Yes, my name is Katrina, and I really like this project already from Tech Design Week. I saw that, and especially artistic component of this project. From the top, you see the circles. It's majestic. My question is first about the regenerative side of this technology. As I understood correct, you achieve this effect by mixing the different crops in the circles. Is it right?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. What about cross-pollination then? I still remember from the school biology that sometimes if you mix the crops next to each other, there might be hybrids growing after that if they're too close to each other. Is it already known effect, or it's not a problem, or you design for these cases also?
Well, that's why we work with Wageningen, because they have big fields with different vegetables, different mixes, and that's where they research the positive and the negative influence of the crop mix.
That can happen, but every year you still basically have new seeds still, and at the moment we don't reuse the seeds. And the main thing of having so many crops next to each other is the natural predators. So if there's one bug on one type of plant, the natural predator for that bug lives on another plant. And it's about this combination. In nature, it's also all combined, and it's in balance. And we try to mimic as close as possible with nature, and in the end, maybe even to combine it with food forests, like Marius is, for example, working on. There can be trees, there can be bushes, and in between there can be circles and strips, to come as close as how nature would do it, but still to have food from it, because we're not in the tropical rainforest. We need to work hard to have food still in the Netherlands if we let nature go its way.
Stan.
Yeah, Stan Kerkhoffs. I work at Rijkswaterstaat, but I also have a farm. We know each other. Great work. Thank you very much.
He was actually our introduction on farming.
Yeah, my question is about value, because you create a lot of value. You create food, you create biodiversity, you create water, you store water, you give social value. You know, in our country, I think in most countries, we have the Ministry of Health, we have the Ministry of Nature, we have the Ministry of Water Management, we have the Ministry. So, actually my question is there any support from these other ministries, or whatever ministry, or pensions, or whatever, because you create so much value? That's my question. So we are talking about money and, you know, and hours, but hey.
It's still all very compartmentalized. So the ministries are like this, separate. We have a responsibility, feed the people, water this and that. So it's still very difficult from the ministry. I work most with the Ministry of LVVN. The main challenges is production farming, and that's where all the focus is. And then this is just a hobby from some people. So the challenge is also for us to see, can we invite them? But the regulations are really changing now the planning is decentralized. So if you have a good plan as a region next to the city and you want to combine this and you have all these solutions, if you can show it, they come and listen, and they will start to do something with it. But without showing it somewhere in the Netherlands where all these things come together, the dialogue doesn't start. Because you have to keep on walking from door to door to door into Hague, and that won't work.
And the Ministry of Health is maybe our biggest friend now, because it's about healthier work environment, healthy landscape, healthy food, health, less cost, less health.
You also had a question.
Yeah, a question for our audience. How do we think we can help them?
That was your question. Oh, sorry about. How do we think we can help them? You have a proposal.
So, thank you. I've been patient. So, what I really like about your proposition is that it's low tech. You're not dependent on all kinds of other providers, as Paul already explained very well. And it is also a way that is very enticing. You said it very well. It looks nice. You want to know more about it. It makes you curious. And we're involved at the Wageningen University of Applied Sciences in a program where we work on robotics for inclusiveness. And I think this robot, this machine, can be very well combined with people who have some distance to the labor market and want to work really with their hands. It's not dangerous, and some tedious work can be done by that machine, and then others can help. So I think it could be very interesting to explore how that would work, and then it would fit in the small wins approach, where you have a big idea for the long run, but you make small steps in that direction, and this could be the first step.
Yeah, good plan. And the so-called zorgboerderijen is, we think, a good client for the coming years, because we want to empower the hands that are in the field instead of taking them out. So let's talk. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, you also have an idea how to help them? Maybe.
So, again, inventor. So I just started thinking about this nice idea. It's looks innovative, nice. But it looks something familiar. So what I found out, it's very similar to city management system. We know some cities organize it like a square, others like circle layout. So I just chatted with Gemini to see some comparison between those cities like circle-centered or square-centered. So it can see some perspectives like traffic or land usage, navigation, infrastructure. So maybe you can get some ideas from these city organization systems. Maybe it might be helpful. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you. I think you should really meet after.
Yes, we will. We will meet.
Yeah? Anybody else to help? Yeah, there are many.
Well, to help, I think we need to constantly keep in mind that this could be a very disruptive way of farming, because we're talking about community, and community making it, giving people charge of what is essentially a lootable resource, right? So potatoes store quite well, which means that you can keep them, which is in essence money, right? And we live in a global Goliath where there is a 1% that would love to have control over all lootable resources. So we can expect a lot of pushback, no matter how well we think this out. I think having community behind it, that is going to be the key. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, and there are like many people would like to help you. So I'm very happy that we have afterwards some drinks. Sorry, we don't have more time for questions. Afterwards, they are also joining for a drink, so you can come to us. We have Hans here. Hans is always a regular guest, and he always makes a summary of the evening. So please, Hans.
Thank you. I found it amazing. You solved for me the problem of the grain circles. I understand how they came about. And I also, when I read the announcement, it said humans, data, and machines. And then I missed one partner, which is very essential, and that's the earth. And Floris, you talked about soil, etc., so we got near to Mother Earth, but I think that is the greatest partner. And when I read the announcement, I thought of a book by Masao Fukuoka. That's a Japanese man who, for some 65 years, started a farming experiment in which he did not plow the ground, he did not, the rice he grew, he did not use water for that, and he managed to get the same turnover as other farms. So I think you are in the same field. You are working on a change of paradigm. And that, in the social side, should get a lot of attention, because then it will make people aware of the changes, and as long as the lady said, they are trying to fit it into the present system, it doesn't work. Before you can accept a new paradigm, you got to say goodbye to the old paradigm. And I think in presenting the idea, you could put more attention to that side. And that's also in the field of efficiency. I mean, efficiency comes after effectiveness. And effectiveness, I didn't hear anything about tonight. I only heard about efficiency, but that's number two. For me, efficiency means do the things as well as you can. And effectiveness is finding the right things to do. And if you're very efficient, you can be doing the wrong things in a very good way. And that's not what you want.
That's what we're doing at the moment, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I think there's another part, and that's my conclusion, that there is a difference between knowledge about how to do these things, how to make robots, and wisdom. And knowledge, in our technological age, we feel sort of knowledge as a synonym to wisdom, but it isn't. Wisdom is the way you apply and how you introduce the new paradigm. And I wish you lots of success.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Hans is always making notes and also drawings. So if you have time, maybe you can ask him to make a picture of his notes.
It sounded already good, so I wonder what it looks like, the drawings. Yeah.
We are coming to an end. So, yes, Robert. We have a next Innovation Cafe coming up, the 26th of February. and it's about sexy biomaterials. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm curious about it, what sexy means, combined into biomaterials. So please come, tell your colleagues, friends, family, neighbors to join us. Thank you very much for coming, and there's also, thank you. Please, the Innovation Cafe is free, of course, but we cannot do it without you as the audience of joining. And if you would like to help us, please donate. And if you work at ASML, there is a special program called Bright Funds, and they will double or triple the impact of the donations that we get. So thank you very much. Floris, Paul, thank you very much. And
thank you
enjoy
for
your
having
drinks.
us.
Have a nice evening. Zoe, I forgot you, the best one. Please, Zoe, stand up. Big applause for Zoe. She is also part of our innovation team. We are with a whole team working on this. And we also have like a design dinner or a dinner afterwards at the Innovation Cafe. So if you would like to join, please go to Zoe and she can make a reservation for you. We will all sit all together in a big table.
16 people applied, so please go to Zoe and mention that you will be there.
And enjoy the dinner and informal conversation further. Have a nice evening. Thank you.